Yo, gamepad in hand, ready for a wicked quest through the time portal? We're about to hit the rewind button big time, zapping us back some 2,500 years to the days of the hardcore Roman kingdom. No, this isn't some run-of-the-mill sandbox game. No, this is the Roman kingdom we're talking about. These guys were as real as the sweat stains on your gaming chair after a 12-hour raid. And let me tell you, the plot twists here make the Red Wedding look like child's play. We'll be chewing the fat about myths that would make Kratos blush. Drama spicier than a Fortnite dance-off, and the kind of power plays that'd make Bowser look like a Goomba. So, you up for a deep dive into the save files of history? Strap in, gamer. We're warp speeding to an ancient world that really left its footprint on the leaderboard. Alright, dude, check out this insane respawn story about these two OG players, Romulus and Remus. They spawned in this ancient map called Alba Longa, pretty close to where the Rome DLC would later drop. Their mom, Rhea Silvia, was like the queen of the No Damage Club, and the daughter of this booted-off king Numitor. This dude Numitor had his crown yanked by his own brother, Amulius, and oh man, you're not gonna believe this. Their dad was Mars, the freaking god of headshots and carnage. Talk about a hardcore lineage, right?
You piece of shit!
Now, there's this guy, King Amulius. He was tripping balls like he's got the paranoid debuff from Phasmophobia. He's all freaked out about these twin noobs, thinking they'll dethrone him someday. He tries to gank them by chucking them into the river Tiber. Overkill, right?
I am under the water. Please help me.
But get this. Tiberinus, the river godfather, pulls off a clutch save and rescues them. They end up being raised in a wolf's den. Talk about a hardcore survival mode.
I can milk you.
The cave's even got a cool name. Looper Call. Sounds like a rare loot drop, right? Later, they're adopted by a shepherd NPC named Faustulus.
What the dog doing?
Level up a few times, and these twin avatars become guild leaders of their own shepherd crew. They end up in this crazy family PvP with their grandpa Numitor and King Paranoid Pants, Amulius. Remus, one of our boys, gets thrown into the dungeon, a total aggro pull because of some trumped up accusations.
I can't stop fucking... Damn it!
But Romulus, his bro, rallies their guild and pulls off a daring raid rescue. In the midst of the raid, they unlock their true backstories, join factions with Grandpa Numitor and put him back on his throne. Achievement unlocked. But the adventure doesn't stop there. They decide to build their own city, like some kind of Minecraft nerds, but here's where the lag hits. They can't agree on the perfect spawn point for their city. Romulus is all about that Palatine Hill, but Remus is more of an Aventine Hill kind of guy. So they decide to hash it out in a good old-fashioned PvP match, but with bird watching. Yeah, you heard me right. Remus spots 6 eagles, but Romulus pulls a total RNGesus move and spots 12. Romulus starts grinding on a city build, but Remus, that troll, jumps over the half-built wall like he's speedrunning a parkour map. Romulus ain't having any of it and PK's Remus right there, game over, bro. So that's the origin story of Rome. Wilder than a Twitch streamer's chat on a Saturday night, right? During the whole Roman kingdom existence, there were these 7 kings who ruled the place, all elected by the people, except for our boy Romulus. It's good to be the founder. These kings had some proper swanky perks, like a fancy chair, purple toga, red shoes, and a sparkly white headband. So picture this, dude. Romulus, think of him like the OG of the Roman kingdom. Does a total PvP move on his bro partner Remus and decides to start building Rome on this Minecraft mountain called Palatine. He's cool about it though, like a non-toxic guild leader, making everyone a citizen, whether they're free to play or pay to play, doesn't matter. Then our Romy boy levels up and starts setting up Rome's spiritual and political server rules. Even convinces all the noobs to vote him as the server admin in this massive guild meeting. Romulus though had this thing for a well-structured guild council and picked out 100 of the top-ranked players to be his mods. They were known as patres, and their little nooblets became the fancy pants patricians. This crafty gamer even created 3 clans, kind of like guilds in MMO, called Ramnes, Titties, and Luceres. The players were also divided into 30 raid groups for voting purposes in their guild assembly, the Comitia Curiata. But here's where the plot thickens. Romulus pulls off this next-level stunt called the Rape of the Sabine Women. He needed some mates for his citizens, so he lures these Sabine dudes to a LAN party and pulls a fast one on them, stealing their gamer girls. Talk about a wild speedrun strategy. As you'd expect, it triggered a massive PvP event. The Sabines tried to raid Rome 3 times, but kept getting spawn killed. Eventually, those Sabine women said,
enough.
and managed to negotiate a peace treaty. Wild, right? So in the end, Romulus and the Sabine King guild up and co-lead, no hard feelings, I guess. The server had its fair share of troll attacks from other guilds like the Fitinates and Vantas. It was basically a never-ending PvP arena. Romulus was the server admin for a solid 37 years, but then out of nowhere gets disconnected while inspecting his army on Campus Marcius. Just vanished. Some say he got promoted to a god and moved to the Olympus server. Others think it was a server banned by the mods. But the drama cooled down when some high-level player claimed Romulus visited him in a dream as a deity named Quirinus. Anyway, later they built this epic monument in the spawn area of Rome, a tribute to Romulus's original base. So check this out, after Romulus had his final game over, Rome was stuck waiting for a respawn for about a year. It was like a wild game of musical chairs with 10 old-timers from the Senate trying to power level their leadership skills. But then they picked this Sabine dude, Numa Pompilius, kind of like choosing Luigi because he's all about playing fair. The homies in the Curia Assembly were all like, sure, why not? Hit us with that player 2 energy. Numa was like the Zen master of Rome, man. Built a sweet crib for his buddy Janus, and once they sorted their beef with the neighbors, he basically hung up a server maintenance no PvP today sign by closing the temple doors. Those doors were AFK for his entire 43-year playthrough. Dude was really into his RP for real, and listen to this. He rolled out the Vestal Virgins. Like, who does that? He also spawned some Salii and Flamines for Jupiter, Mars, and Quirinus. Oh, and he crafted the Pontifex Maximus Guild role. Nice one, Numa. Our main man of Rome didn't stop there. He's like the ultimate bug fixer. Even patched their calendar system. Added January and February so they wouldn't be left in the dust by the rest of the server. Talk about grinding for achievements. Let me tell you about this guy, Tullus Hostilius, right? Dude's name straight up sounds like he'd be wrecking noobs in Fortnite. So this guy, he was like the complete opposite of Numa. Like if Numa was Mario, Tullus was freaking Bowser. He was all about that war life, like he couldn't get enough of it, treating it like the gnarliest battle royal ever. Romulus would totally be like, yeah, bro, that's my homie. Tullus went on a rampage against Alba Longa, Videne, VII, and the Sabines. I'm talking full-on PvP madness. Poor Alba Longa drew the short straw and got obliterated, dude. So after a sick 31-year kill streak as king, Tullus finally went off to join that big LAN party in the sky. The dude even built this sick house for the senators called Curia Hostilia. Crazy thing lasted for 562 years. Not too shabby for a warmonger's chill-out sesh spot. After Tullus got totally pawned, the Romans were like, let's just get a chill king this time. And they selected Ancus Marcius, Numa's grandson. It's like Numa got extra lives and respawned as this guy. Didn't grind for territory expansion, but totally did some PvP to defend his land. Man even built Rome's first prison on Capitoline Hill. GG for law and order. So Ancus leveled up security on Janiculum Hill, popped in a bridge over the River Tiber. OG Roman bridge called Pons Sublicious, and you already know. It's time for bridge review. The infamous bridge, constructed entirely out of timber, captures the essence of ancient Roman engineering. Latin speakers went all fancy, calling it Pons Sublicious, which basically means bridge on sticks. Clever stuff. The whole thing relied on pointy sticks, jammed into the riverbed, not the sturdiest design by today's standard. Give it a measly 2 out of 10, but since it's Rome's first ever bridge, I'll bump it up to a cheeky 6.9 out of 10. Bridge review. Yeah, he also crafted Osteoport and slammed down some saltworks there. In the endgame, Ancus dropped off the map peacefully like Granddaddy Numa after being king for a solid 25-year playthrough, and thus ended Rome's legendary Latin Sabian royal battle royale. Alright, so picture this. You've got this dude, Tarquinius Priscus, right? He's the new DLC character for the Game of Rome, and he's straight from the Etruscan update. Dude becomes besties with the current big boss Ancus, who likes him so much he basically adds him to save file as his own spawn. Once he respawns as the top player, he starts grinding, taking on the Sabians and Etruscans like he's facing the Omega Protocol from FF14 on Ultimate. He's so good, he doubles Rome's map size and scores a ton of loot drops. He's got so many new guildmates from all the raids that he has to expand the player home into the Aventine and Caelian Hills. Now, this sly gamer pulls a total 360 on the Senate. He adds 100 new members from his raid parties, turning it into this badass 200-member guild. He then uses all his conquest loot to build some sick new structures, like he's just bought the Rome DLC. He gives them the Cloaca Maxima, this ultra sewer system, to drain the swamps between Rome's 7 hills, and then he starts building the Forum Romanum, which is basically the original social hub. So Priscus is on this epic building quest, right? He starts with the Circus Maximus, because why not? And it's this massive arena for chariot races. Like he's just switched on his ancient Rome version of Mario Kart. But then he gets bored and thinks, hey, why not build a temple for Jupiter Optimus Maximus on the old Capitoline Hill? Cheeky git. Anyway, just when he was about to smash that high score in kinging, some fella who happened to be Ancus Marcius' spawn decided to dispatch him. Mental, right? After Priscus kicks the bucket, his son-in-law, Servius Tullius, steps in. This guy is as hardcore as an Etruscan boss level, and he's got a backstory to boot. His mom was an NPC, slave. Speaking about the slaves, does it appeal to you when the items you purchase are the product of forced labor? If so, sponsor this video. Temu has just the thing for you. Meet our industrious workers tirelessly assembling your favorite products. Meet Lee. He's been on a voluntary overtime shift for the past 72 hours. Who needs sleep when you can contribute to the economic growth? Isn't that right, Lee? And of course, our top tier item durability, Temu gear, is like our promises. They glitch as soon as they're unboxed. But hey, who doesn't love a good surprise? So remember gamers, when you buy on Temu, you're not just losing HP, you're losing XP. Stand against the human exploitation tactics and don't sell for booty gear. No cheat codes, no power-ups. He goes from zero to hero and takes the throne in Rome. Just like his predecessor, Servius is no stranger to PvP. He goes full Call of Duty mode on the Etruscans, bags their loot like a Fortnite champ, and builds a Rust-style wall all around the ritzy Seven Hills district in Rome. That's some serious XP there, buddy. Then, Servius takes the power-up route and practically invents a new DLC called the Constitution. The dude starts messing around with the player classes like he's in the middle of an NO game. He pulls off Rome's first leaderboard update, and bam. Suddenly we've got 5 economic classes in the Centuriate Assembly. The guy was like a stats nerd on a Mountain Dew binge. No joke. He even creates 4 urban guilds, bringing the tribal assembly into the fold. But this guy isn't done. He shifts gears into cities skylines mode, lays out urban blueprints, and crafts a temple to Diana on Aventine Hill. It's like he just won a building competition in Roblox. Servius plays the leveling game with the elites, dealing out voting rights like rare loot drops based on their gold stash. But then, plot twist, he starts grinding reputation with the low-level plebs for support.
I brought these gifts for you, they're up in my bum.
And let's just say his elite players were not thrilled. And the end game for our hero Servius, after a grind session of 44 years, he gets backstabbed by his own party members, his daughter Tullia and her spouse Tarquinius Superbus. It's like the most intense betrayal in Among Us, but with togas. So there was this dude, Tarquinius Superbus, right? Picture the final boss of a game, only he's the final king of Rome. Dude came out of the Priscus and Servius clan, but instead of leveling up like a normal player, he pulled a Game of Thrones and decided to PK his own in-law. Didn't even drop a GG, no RE or anything. Then Tarquinius, let's call him Tark for short, went full Leroy Jenkins. Waging wars with Rome's neighbors like he's grinding for XP, took on these guilds called Volsi, Gabii, and Rutuli. Dude was power leveling, making Rome the OP guild in the Latin server. When he wasn't out there raiding, he was grinding his crafting skills, building stuff like Jupiter Optimus Maximus's pad, Cloaca Maxima, and Circus Maximus. Dude was terraforming Rome like a pro. But the thing is, everyone remembers him for being that toxic player who keeps the server in check with fear and intimidation. He was the guy who'd call you a noob and kick you out of the guild for using traditional strats. Now here's where things really hit the fan. Tark's son, Sextus. Yeah, I know, right? Thought he was playing some twisted version of Leisure Suit Larry and assaulted Lucretia, who was both wife and daughter to these guild leaders named Tarquinius Collatinus and Lucretius Precipitinus. I mean, talk about a plot twist, right? Lucretia, like a true gamer, reported the incident, but then rage quit life. Well, that was the last straw. That was the moment when Junius Brutus and his crew, including Lucretia's husband Collatinus, decided they'd had enough of the Tarquin family's griefing. They staged a server-wide revolt in 509 BC, kicked Tark's ass to the respawn zone. Rex became such a rotten word, no one wanted it. So then what? Brutus and Collatinus teamed up, went duo in the Rome's first console game, and basically unlocked the Roman Republic expansion pack. This DLC had a solid run of 500 years until some player named Julius Caesar found a game-breaking exploit. But we'll save that story for another session. If you liked it, subscribe. More videos coming soon. Thank you for watching and see you next time.